Welcome to this lesson where we're going to look at scales. In our first lesson, we were looking at the names of the keys of these keys. By now, you should be able to name all these white keys and all these black keys. If you missed the first lesson, you can go back and watch it, and then you can get back to this one, because in this one, we're going to be looking at scales. We're going to be learning how to build scales, and by the end of this lesson, you should be able and comfortable with playing the C scale, the A flat scale, the E flat scale, every single scale. And why are you going to be so confident in that? That's because I'm going to give you a very simple formula, a formula that you will use to apply in every key, and you'll be able to build a scale on that key. Take it as somebody teaching you how to fish instead of giving you a single fish, right? I want to give you a formula that will enable you to build a scale in any key. Okay, and today we're looking at, of course, a specific kind of scale, basic scales. There's so many types of scales: harmonic minors, natural minor scales, diminished scales and things like that. But for now, we're going to look at major scales. Okay, just the natural major scales. So before we get into the actual scales, we need to look at the tools that we're going to use to build those scales. We have some tools and terms that we have to look at. The first term is an octave. First term is an octave. So when you're building a scale, you're moving from a specific note to the next nearest note of its same kind while following certain rules. So I'm moving from C, let's say, to C, but I'm going to be following certain rules while doing that. That's the simplest way to describe it. So in an octave is really that distance between those two notes I've talked about, between the C note and the next nearest C note. Or if we're looking at E, the E note and the nearest E note. So an octave is simply the distance between the closest two notes the closest two identical notes. That's the best way to describe it. So even if I have F flat, what's the nearest F flat? That one, or it could even be the one below. That's an octave. That's an octave. This is an octave. This is an octave because it's DD. Octave, EE, octave, F sharp, octave, B flat. I think we've got that. Now, a scale is what we find within those confines, within those parameters of an octave. So if I have C, for example, I'm using C because it's really the fundamental learning key. So if we have C, for example, the C scale moves from here to here, from C to C. Okay. The other thing we have to look at that's going to help us build scales is called semitones and tones. What is a tone? A tone, this is how I will introduce a tone. If I am at C and I want to move to D, do I skip? This is a question. These are the two questions you're going to ask yourself. If I'm moving from one note to another, am I skipping any note in between or not? So just imagine two check boxes, yes and no. I'm moving from E to F. Am I skipping any note in between? Yes or no. I'm moving from G to A. Am I skipping any note in between? Yes or no. Okay. So let's apply that. I'm at C. I'm moving to C sharp. Am I skipping any note in between? Yes or no? Answer is no. So that makes it a semitone. If I'm at C and I'm moving to D, am I skipping any note in between? Yes. What note is that? C sharp. For me to move from C to D, I have to skip over this black note called C sharp. Now, if I'm skipping, then that's a yes. If I'm skipping a note, that means that's a yes for tone. If I'm not skipping a note, for example, E to F, there's nothing I'm skipping in between. That becomes a semitone. Alternative names for tone are full step. Alternative names for semitone is half step, okay? So C to C sharp, that's a semitone. C sharp to D, what's that? It's going to be a semitone as well. D to E flat, semitone, because there's nothing in between I'm skipping. E flat to E, semitone. How about D to E, full tone, or basically just a tone, or full step, okay? How about F flat to A, semitone, A to B, full tone. So those are the tones and semitones, or you might want to use half steps and full steps, whichever is of your liking. Now, you're asking, how does this apply to scales? I'm going to give us a formula. You remember the fishing lesson I talked about? Here it comes, pay attention. So the fishing lesson, it goes like this. I'm going to give you a formula. I think they're called mnemonics, I guess. You know, like how on guitar, those who know your guitar, shout out to you. Like how you mastered those strings on a guitar. Every African deserves God's blessings every day. At least that's what I use to know that, okay, that's E, A, D, G, B, E. That's how you mastered your strings on the guitar. When it comes to the piano, this is a formula you're going to use. This is my own thing. I came up with it. But if somebody else is using it out there, no hard feelings. But I think it's an original one. So if I want to come up with a scale, a major scale specifically, this doesn't apply to other scales like minor, augmented scales, and other next advanced scales. This is simply for a major scale. You can apply it on any major scale at any point, any key, and you'll be able to play it. We're trying to fight transposers. Those who know. If you know, you know. We're trying to fight the habit of transposing. All right. That's why we need to learn all keys. You know, even as a beginner, don't dwell so much on C or F sharp or any other commonly victimized key when it comes to transposers. Okay, here's the formula for playing any scale of any key. I advise that you write it down if you're not taking notes. T, T, S, T, 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 S. And the mnemonic that's going to help you master that, or the shortcut, is going to be, I hope I didn't forget it. Okay, here's our magic formula. Tantan said Tom takes Tuesdays seriously. Tantan said Tom takes Tuesdays seriously. And the short, the abbreviation for that is TTS, TTTS. Tantan said Tom takes Tuesdays seriously. You can replace Tantan with any TT initial that you know. If your initials are TT, if your initials are, for example, are Talema Tom or Tom Travis, if those are your initials, feel free to say Tom Travis said maybe Tim takes Tuesdays seriously. But mine is Tantan said Sam takes Tuesdays. Oh, I hope I didn't mess that up. Tantan said Tom takes Tuesdays seriously. Yes. So as long as it's TTS, TTTS, Let's apply that now. We're at C, right? So starting point. Remember what a tone is and what a semitone is. So in our abbreviation or abbreviated shortcut that we got, Tantan said Tim or Tom takes Tuesdays seriously. Where you see the S, that's a semitone. Where you see the T, that's a full tone, okay? So let's start. We're at C. What's the first one in our formula? It's a T, okay? Tan, meaning it's a full tone. Okay, watch my movements. C, we're at C, and in our formula we are at T. T stands for full tone. What does full tone mean? I skip a button to go to the next one. So I'm at C, and I'm at tan, the first T. It's a full tone. What's next in our formula? It's another T, meaning I skip again. What's next in our formula? Tan said S. What does S stand for? Semitone. Do I skip for semitone or do I not skip? I don't skip. I play the very next button. I'm at F. I'm building my scale. My destination is C, remember. So I'm at F. From F, in our formula, where are we? We are at S. Tantan said Tom. Remember, we've already tan said. Now we're going to Tom. Tom means T, ton. In our formula, we're at S. We started, remember, let me just take you a little bit back. Tan said, semitone. Tom takes Tuesdays, semitone. Seriously. So that's how we build a scale of C. And how do we play that? Of course, I'm not using the real fingering, the way I'm supposed to move my fingers, because I know somebody might be saying, oh, that's not how the fingering works. But that's something we're going to look at in the future. So that's how you play the scale of C, using that tone and semitone formula, okay, or visual. So we can apply that to another key. Let's say E. I don't know what the scale of E is like, but I want to play it. I want to play the scale of E. How am I going to play it? I'll start from E. I'll identify the key and then apply my formula. Tantan said Tom takes Tuesday seriously. I'm at E. Of course, you start at the key itself, like I said. So the first is a tone. What are the rules of a tone? Skip one. What's the next one in the formula? Still a tone, meaning skip one. Next in the formula, semitone, don't skip. Next, three tones, so I'm going to skip 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And what's the last one? Semitone. I'm back. I want to know the scale of A. What are the rules? 2 tones, meaning skip twice, skip once, skip twice, then a semitone, don't skip, then 3 tones, skip thrice, 1, 2, 3, then lastly, semitone, don't skip. Apply that on every single key, and you should be able to play every single key. Let's try one more. B flat. If I'm at B flat, I'm applying the formula. 2 tones, meaning that's a tantan, eh? 2 tones. At B flat, let's move. 2 tones, skip twice, skip once, skip twice. Then a semitone, don't skip. Then 3 tones, skip 1, 2, 3, then a semitone. So the scale of B flat is played B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, back to B flat. As simple as that. Practice, practice, and practice. And of course, make sure that you're not cramming. You're not simply cramming that, oh, where do I press for this key? Where do I press for this key? But you understand how we build these things. You understand that a scale is built with 2 tones, a semitone, 3 tones, and a semitone in that order. And of course, that's for a major scale. So stick around, and for the next video, we're going to be going deeper. We're still on the basics, we're still on the surface, but we're definitely heading somewhere. Thank you, and don't forget to leave a comment, subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, and share this with somebody. So see you on the next one.